From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.
Good day, this is Dateline Malacañang, and here are the news. On the top story, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. visited the Metro Pacific Fresh Farms, or MPFF, in San Rafael, Bulacan, marking the country's first and largest greenhouse facility. The president's visit followed the opening of Phase 1 of MPFF, a 22-hectare vegetable greenhouse complex in San Rafael town over 2 months ago. This visit aligns with his administration's dedication to agricultural innovation, food security, and rural development efforts. Accompanied by Agriculture Secretary Francisco Chu Laurel Jr., President Marcos was seen enjoying fresh produce from the greenhouse. Phase 1 of the MPFF consists of 6 greenhouses that cover 3.5 hectares with the capability to yield 500 metric tons of fresh vegetables each year. The greenhouses aim to revolutionize local vegetable production through innovative and technology-driven agriculture, significantly exceeding the yields and stability of traditional farms. Utilizing nutrient film technique, or NFT, greenhouse technology, the facility can harvest 60,000 lettuce heads each month, resulting in 144 metric tons of fresh greens annually. In addition to NFT, Israeli drip irrigation technology is employed to cut water and land usage by 90%, lower chemical inputs, and guarantee high-quality vegetable production throughout the year. The greenhouse facility in Bulacan also provides melons and tomatoes, among other crops. Metro Pacific Agro Ventures Incorporated, or MPAV, a subsidiary of Metro Pacific Investments Corporation, or MPIC, led by Manuel Pangilinan, plans to establish a total of 10 vegetable greenhouses facilities in various locations across the country. MPAV aims to create at least 2 satellite greenhouses each year. This initiative is designed to tackle supply instability and high input costs by ensuring a dependable source of produce for both consumers and businesses. MPAV markets its farm produce under the brand More Veggies Please in supermarkets through Metro Manila.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. said that the government is looking into the possibility of establishing a floor price for rice to ensure that farmers receive fair earnings and are ready for the upcoming planting season. During a meeting with farmers at the National Food Authority, or NFA, warehouse in San Ildefonso, Bulacan, President Marcos highlighted the importance of finding a balance between making rice affordable for consumers and ensuring farmers are not disadvantaged when they sell their crops. He indicated that the proposed approach is inspired by the floor pricing system for tobacco used in his home province of Ilocos Norte. President Marcos pointed out that fluctuating market prices create challenges for both farmers and the government in terms of planning and long-term sustainability. He also pledged to enhance government support by providing more agricultural machinery and logistics to minimize production losses and enhance post-harvest processes. This announcement comes as the government continues to roll out its 20 pesos per kilogram rice initiative, which initially aims to assist vulnerable households.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Department of Agriculture, or DA, announced that it would explore the opportunity of importing rice from the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN, to maintain the 20 pesos per kilogram rice initiative known as Benteng Bigas Meron, or BBM na, until 2028. This announcement followed remarks from Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. expressing optimism about the sustainability of BBM na, noting intended collaborations with other nations. During a press briefing, DA spokesperson Assistant Secretary Arnel de Mesa mentioned that this initiative might be facilitated through the Food Terminal Incorporated, or FTI. In addition to potential collaborations with ASEAN countries, Pakistan and India might also be considered for future agreements to maintain the affordable rice program. When asked about a possible timeline, the agriculture official indicated that the earliest implementation could be in 2026. He added that approximately 250,000 metric tons are empty of aging and soon to be expire NFA rice has been designated for the initiative. As of May 20, the NFA has acquired 8.24 million 50 kilograms bags of milled rice for the country's national rice reserve, which will be enough for 11 days, according to the DA. According to the amended Rice Tarification Law or RTL, the NFA is required to maintain a 15-day buffer stock in preparation for emergencies and natural disasters.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Philippine Department of Agriculture, DA, indicated that Filipinos can anticipate a steady supply of rice and consistent retail prices as the lean months approach, thanks to a good harvest season. The lean months follow the conclusion of the local harvest season, which runs from June to September. During a press briefing, DA spokesperson, Assistant Secretary Arnel de Meso, mentioned that consumers can expect stable prices with different rice varieties likely to remain at around 45 pesos per kilogram. As of May 26, the prices for imported premium and well-milled rice in Metro Manila were 45 pesos per kilogram, while imported regular milled rice was priced at 38 pesos per kilogram. The Mesa also expressed optimism about achieving the local production target for this year with a stable rice supply. In the first quarter of the year, the Philippines produced 4.699 million metric tons or MT of rice, according to the Philippine Statistics Authority or PSA. This figure is slightly up from the 4.685 million metric tons recorded during the same period of the previous year. Regarding the national rice inventory, the PSA reported 2.34 million metric tons or MT as of April. The Mesa noted that import arrivals have declined compared to last year when local palay or unhusked rice production was affected by a combination of El Nino, La Nina, various weather disturbances, and the eruption of Mount Canlaon. As of May 22, the Bureau of Plant Industry or BIPA reported 313,795 metric tons of import arrivals, contributing to a total of 1.7 million metric tons. The import volume for this month is less than 478,099 metric tons noted in May 2024. Despite the approaching lean months, the Mesa stated that a rise in import arrivals is unlikely. Concerning tariff collections on imported rice, the Bureau of Customs or BOC announced an increase of over 12% in 2024 compared to 2023. It reported that the country garnered more than 34.229 billion pesos in duties last year, surpassing the 29.9 billion pesos in tariffs collected in 2023. In 2024, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. authorized the extension of the Rice Competitiveness Enhancement Fund or RCEF until 2031 under the revised Rice Tarification Law, which raised the funding from 10 billion pesos to 30 billion pesos sourced from tariff revenues on imported rice.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Department of Agriculture or DA announced that 120,000 minimum wage earners will benefit from the 20 pesos per kilogram rice initiative under the Benteng Bigas Meron Na or BBM program starting in June. On Tuesday, the DA and the Department of Labor and Employment or DOLE officially agreed to, in principle, extend the BBM NAP program to include minimum wage earners. Initially, the program was offered to individuals from vulnerable groups such as senior citizens, persons with disabilities, and participants in the Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program or 4Ps. During a press conference, DA spokesperson Assistant Secretary Arnel de Mesa mentioned that they have received the official list of beneficiaries for the program nationwide. The limit for purchasing is set at 10 kilograms, which corresponds to a monthly allocation of 1.2 million kilograms. The DA representative also noted that they are currently working on finalizing the distribution mechanism to avoid duplication and create a more structured process for minimum wage earners. Regarding potential transportation expenses for the 20 pesos per kilogram rice distribution, the Mesa indicated that Food Terminal Incorporated or FTI will use the allocated funds worth 500 million pesos for logistics. Previously, the DA expressed its intention to broaden the program to encompass low to low middle income families, aiming to reach a total of 15 million households or around 60 million Filipino beneficiaries across the country. Thus far, the initial phase of the BBM NAP program is being implemented in regions such as Negros Oriental and Negros Occidental, Samar, Eastern Samar and Northern Samar, Southern Leyte, and Bohol, Antique, Cebu, Iloilo, Capiz, Biliran, Guimaras, Siquijor, Aklan, and Mindoro. In July, the second phase will take place in Zamboanga del Norte, Basilan, Cotabato City, Tawi-Tawi, Maguindanao del Sur, Maguindanao del Norte, Maguindanao, Davao Oriental, and Sorsogon, while the concluding phase will encompass Sultan Kudarat, Lanao del Norte, Catanduanes, Agusan del Sur, Sarangani, and Dinagat Islands.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Presidential Communications Office or PCO cautioned the public about scammers operating a fraudulent Facebook account, impersonating its affiliated agency, the Radio Television Malacañang or RTVM, to seek online investments. The PCO noted that the legitimate Facebook page of RTVM bears a verified blue badge typically found on authentic government pages, whereas the fake account lacks verification, has few followers and low engagement, and posts content that falls outside the official scope of the state-run agency. RTVM has already distanced itself from the unverified Facebook account featuring misleading information, urging the public to remain alert against fraudulent accounts or individuals pretending to represent the agency. It emphasized that it does not and will never participate in such deceptive activities, making it clear that it will never request for or accept any type of financial contributions or participation from the public. The PCO advised the public to follow only verified government pages to ensure they receive accurate information. It also asked people to consistently look for the blue check mark that indicates a verified page, verify official links, post history, and consistent branding, and report any suspicious accounts directly to Facebook's platform.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority or MMDA reassured the public that all infractions detected by AI-based closed-circuit television or CCTV cameras under the No Contact Apprehension Policy or NCAP are individually verified by their staff. Furthermore, individuals who receive a violation notice have the option to appeal through the MMDA Traffic Adjudication Division online. The agency made these statements in response to community concerns that yielding to emergency vehicles may be classified as a violation under the NCAP. During a radio interview, MMDA Chair Roman Duartes explained that the personnel reviewing the ANCAP violations are primarily deaf-mute individuals who are responsible for personally assessing the infractions captured by their AI CCTV. He mentioned that AI CCTVs are exclusively installed on EDSA, while other major roads in Metro Manila utilize standard high-definition CCTVs. Digital cameras and staff-equipped devices devices like speed guns and handheld cameras. By 3 in the afternoon of Wednesday, the MMDA had recorded a total of 552 violations detected by the NCAP, surpassing the 549 infractions identified on Tuesday from 6 in the morning to 6 in the evening. On Monday, the first day of the policy's resumption, 1,112 violations were recorded through the NCAP.
Dateline Malacañang.
Only the Department of Social Welfare and Development, or DSWD, has the authority to determine which beneficiaries qualify for the agency's Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program, or 4Ps, based on the guidelines established by law. This point was stressed by Director Gemma Gabuya of the 4Ps National Program Management Office, or 4Ps NPMO, in response to a question from a social media user during the Wednesday edition of the 4Ps Fast Break regarding eligibility for 4Ps following the election victory of a candidate they supported. The DSWD representative suggested that the individual consult with the local social welfare and development offices, or LSWDOs, at either the provincial or municipal level to verify if they are included on the list derived from the Community-Based Monitoring System, or CBMS, managed by the Philippine Statistics Authority, or PSA. The CBMS is responsible for collecting data at the local level, which is essential for identifying households during the planning, budgeting, and execution phases of government initiatives aimed at reducing poverty and fostering economic growth. Gabuya reiterated that to qualify as a 4Ps beneficiary, a family or household must be determined as poor by the PSA during their survey. In order to be eligible for the program, the household must have children aged 0 to 18 years or include pregnant members at the time of the survey. Gabuya mentioned that individuals who were promised entry into the 4Ps program by winning candidates could file their complaints with the Commission on Elections to seek legal guidance on the next steps. The 4Ps program provides cash assistance to over 4 million households, enabling their children to receive subsidies for completing elementary and senior high school, along with support for health and nutrition.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Secretary of the Department of Information and Communications Technology, or DICT, Henry Aguda, has urged the National Privacy Commissioner, NPC, to disclose the names of companies and applications that consistently infringe on the privacy rights of Filipinos. In his opening speech at the 8th National Data Privacy Conference, Aguda proposed the development of a monthly privacy report card by the NPC, which would highlight companies adhering to and those violating the nation's privacy regulations each month. Aguda emphasized that those who repeatedly offend will no longer operate unnoticed. He additionally urged the NPC to enhance its educational initiatives, establish more channels for grievances, and offer protection to highly vulnerable populations such as senior citizens, students, and overseas Filipino workers, or OFWs, as well as to set up barangay data privacy officers. The National Data Privacy Conference is part of the annual Privacy Awareness Week. During this event, government officials and experts engage in discussions regarding artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, the protection of youth, and the overarching responsibility to ensure a safe and responsible environment in the Philippines.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Philippine Army, or PA, announced that its 18th Scout Ranger Company along with U.S. forces successfully carried out a joint air assault training exercise at the Cagayan North International Airport as part of the ongoing Salakni Phase 2 drills between the two military services. According to Army spokesperson Colonel Luwe de Maala, the operation on May 22 assessed real-time coordination, rapid troop deployment, and airfield security procedures. This resulted in a successful and coordinated security exercise. De Maala mentioned that the training highlights the PA's continuous efforts to enhance international defense collaborations and boost its abilities to tackle complex security issues. The Salakni Phase 2 is set to take place from May 19 to July 20.
Dateline Malacañang.
The swift ratification of a United Nations treaty aimed at safeguarding the high seas would enhance the political standing of the Philippines both regionally and globally, according to France's Ambassador and High Seas Alliance, or HAs. During a prominent legislative forum in Pasay City, French Ambassador to the Philippines, Marie Fontanelle, expressed hope that Manila would be among the first 60 nations to endorse the significant biodiversity beyond national jurisdiction, or BBNJ agreement, also referred to as the UN High Seas Treaty. The ambassador remarked that the Philippines, as a nation comprised of many islands and highly vulnerable to nature or natural calamities, is well positioned to advocate for ocean protection more so than several other nations. She noted that early ratification of the treaty would demonstrate that Manila continues to advance in enhancing international law to better safeguard the oceans. Additionally, HAS Asia Regional Coordinator Riza Sacra de Hucos said that being one of the initial 60 countries to ratify the agreement would send a strong message about Manila's dedication to conserving 30% of Earth's land and oceans by 2030. France is preparing to host the much-anticipated 2025 UN Ocean Conference in Nice from June 9 to 13. Fontanelle mentioned that for months, Paris has been actively working with international partners to achieve 60 ratifications by the time the conference is held. So far, 22 nations out of the 104 that signed the treaty have completed the ratification process. The BBNJ agreement stands as the first legally binding international pact specifically focused on the conservation and sustainable use of marine biological diversity in the high seas. Has noted that these regions have historically experienced disjointed management and insufficient coordinated regulations, making them vulnerable to overexploitation, pollution, and the increasing challenges posed by climate change. The treaty seeks to address these concerns by outlining a framework for the establishment of marine protected areas, performing environmental impact assessments, and ensuring equitable sharing of benefits derived from marine genetic sources. Last month, the Department of Foreign Affairs, or DFA, affirmed the Philippines' intention to ratify the agreement promptly. The treaty is presently undergoing the process of Senate concurrence in the Philippines, after which the country's instrument of ratification can be submitted to the UN.
Dateline Malacañang.
And finally, for the foreign exchange rates, according to the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, as of Wednesday, May 28, 2025, the United States dollar stands at 55 pesos and 40 centavos, Japan yen at 38 centavos, Singapore dollar at 42 pesos 99 centavos, South Korea won is at 4 centavos, China yuan at 7 pesos 70 centavos, Hong Kong dollar at 7 pesos 7 centavos, United Kingdom pound at 74 pesos 86 centavos, European Monetary Union euro at 62 pesos and 79 centavos, Canada dollar at 40 pesos 12 centavos, and Saudi Arabia rial 14 pesos 77 centavos.
Dateline Malacañang.
And that is all for today's Dateline Malacañang for Radyo Pilipinas World Service. This has been Bea Gaza-de Guzman.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila. Dateline Malacañang.